Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. We will be talking about Monday the 20th through the 26th, so that whole week with all the planet changes and some of the things that the universe is going to offer us in the way of lessons. We've got some really interesting things coming, so join me, put your seatbelts on, and we'll go for a little bit of a ride for a very short period of time here. We have the sun sign in Gemini, Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that is in Gemini, and Venus on the 24th of this week, which will be Friday, is going to be in Gemini, moving there from Taurus, the bull. So that's going to be a lot of concentrated Gemini energy. So one of the things that we have to look at with this is, are we fulfilling some of the needs that Gemini offers us? And there's a very big difference between a need and a want. Now, the needs of Gemini usually will encompass communication, having some rich conversation or intellectual stimulation. This is not a time that we would be bored and enjoy it. There are times where you just want silence and quiet and you don't want mental stimulation, but this wouldn't be one of those times. So given that, there's got to be a lot of things where the planets are moving right now, and that's going to offer us some opportunities to learn, to grow, to be challenged, and to move forward with it. So, Gemini, as I said, the communicator, is ruled by Mercury. So that's the ruling planet in the zodiac sign of Gemini. So then you have in Mercury, period, just in Mercury, we have the Gemini sign, which is ruled by Mercury. So that's almost double the amount of Gemini energy. And then moving into Venus. So this is where we need to maybe look at partners, friendships, people that are stimulating, where the conversation isn't just going around in a circle, where maybe you feel like there's a sense of humor there, or there's an opportunity to broach another subject that's maybe of interest to you, or listen to podcasts, mine and others. Listen to podcasts, or maybe in some areas that you wouldn't normally do that. So I guess the basics is, are we broadening our opportunities to stretch our mind, maybe find a new hobby, find a new approach to things in life, new things that maybe we didn't even know stimulated us. So this is the opportunity that's being offered to us with this Gemini energy. We will not suffer boredom during that time. So book some things. Go to the show, go to the carousel of nations and experience different types of food, different types of dancing, different types of entertainment, something that you haven't done before but is on your bucket list. Perfect time for that. And then Mars, the planet of our drive, our passion, is still in Aries. So Aries ruling planet is Mars. So we have a zodiac sign that's ruled by Mars in Mars. Again, very, very concentrated energy field there. Be careful of the short fuse issues that this can bring about. That's a little concerning. Also, maybe somebody around you may have a short fuse and mouth off or lip off a little bit more than what you're expecting, or that you feel that you want to tolerate. So then you have to decide, do I add fire to fire? And we have a forest fire here. Do I throw water on them? What do I do? Do I just walk away? What do I do? So you have to look at, do I want to go to war with this? Is this something that I want to start a war with? And there's so few things that are worthy of a war. So look and see what you would best do. Now, when I look at some of the health or vulnerability issues that could come up this week, the first part of the week, just if you have sore feet, or your feet are vulnerable, or your feet speak to you, sometimes they tell us when we're tired, when we don't have enough brains to know that ourselves, that may be a vulnerable place. We have that psychic energy field of Pisces in the moon for the first part of this week. So our psychic energy fields will be enhanced a little bit, so you might get little little do this number, turn here, don't go there today, just little nudges, psychic feelings, intuitions from the universe. But Pisces rules the feet and the toes and that pineal gland, which is considered our psychic energy field. So all of that will be vulnerable at this time. So time to encourage your psychic ability and to take care of your little feeties. Watch towards the end of the week for the head, the teeth, the tongue, the neck. If you're weak in your vocal cords, try not to shout because you might be using more than what your vocal cords can stand, and you'd contribute to maybe laryngitis or something of that nature. The throat, the thyroid gland, all of those things can be very sensitive during this time. So for myself personally, I don't usually have problems with my head and my tongue and my teeth, but knowing it'll be traveling down towards the end of the week towards the neck, which is a little bit vulnerable in the vocal cords because I'm using them all the time, I may choose not to talk more than is necessary, let somebody else carry the weight of the conversation. Maybe honey and lemon, just some preventative care if you lean in that direction. If you have any thyroid issues, as a rule, this is an energy field that can contribute to that. Maybe it's time to be tested. Maybe it's time to look at, am I gaining weight? Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's my thyroid. Am I losing weight? Maybe it's my thyroid. Does it need to be checked? Check your throat and see if the goiter is working. Just really manage and monitor yourself. But neck, head, all of that area can be very, very sensitive this week. So just kind of be on top of that if you can. I did want to talk to you a little bit more about Venus in Gemini. That's the newest energy, and as I said, that moved into it on the 24th, or will move into it on the 24th of this week. So that we feel it just before it happens, and then we're going to be there for a few weeks. So with that, Venus, the planet of love and beauty and attraction, and Gemini is the planet of intellectual stimulation, communications, being talkative, curious. So it's social. It'll invite us to be social because we want to do a little bit of talking and listening. And this will make us want to keep a very light hold on people and conversations. We won't, and when I say light, what I mean is we won't like anything too formalized or planned out. We'd like to feel that we're being a little more spontaneous than normal. And it wouldn't feel very good if we felt tied down. Got to be here at 10, got to be there at 11 o'clock. Start to feel like a really big burden. So you've got to watch your calendar and watch what you're doing. Do I have the freedom that I need right now? So if you think of Gemini in life, for instance, especially in this position, because this is the planet of love, Venus, it will crave that love buffet. So it wouldn't want to be necessarily with just one person. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to be making long-term commitments with everybody, but it doesn't mean that we can't have a coffee and enjoy somebody's company, or we can't have a light discussion on the corner with a new person and have a new idea, or meet a new person and see what their energy's like. So we'll want variety with this energy, both in friendships and in love and in any type of interaction that we have. Variety. Humor is so important during this time. So get your humor all sharpened up and ready to work. Anybody that's charismatic will have an edge over us because we'll be very drawn to that. And who isn't drawn to charismatic people? We'll be socially curious. And we need, as I said, to be flexible about our plans. So some people that are on the opposite scale may feel socially awkward, maybe a little nervous. Maybe they'll be able to dig out some insincerity in other people. And so just look at that kind of an energy field. Where do I stand? Am I a person that's socially awkward? Maybe it's a time to exercise some skills. We take our little dogs to be social and learn how to be socially skilled and not bite or maim other dogs or kitties. So we have to be taught that. Maybe this is the time after the pandemic that the universe is offering us to maybe get out there a little bit more and not be hiding in our hidey hole so much and enjoy other people's conversation and company. We will absolutely crave somebody that makes us laugh. So as I said, humor is going to be really important. So you're going to get extra points if you're funny. And we'll want to, as I said, escape anything that's too emotionally heavy or anything that we feel limits us. And we won't care for routine. Now that's going to be very unusual for some of you Virgos out there, because routine is the center core of safety for you guys. But this might be the time to be adaptable and flexible and see, can you pivot? And watch that you don't spread yourself too thin this week, or as long as Gemini is in Venus, which will be for a few weeks. This is the kind of an energy where we tend to overdo. We tend to maybe book, for instance, the Carousel of Nations Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Woofaroo on the following Sunday, then get together with the son and the daughter on Wednesday, and then it just becomes too much and we implode. So just be careful that you don't put too much on your plate, and that you don't experience anything that's too limiting, and you don't spread yourself too thin. Now, this is where we would crave a vast social network where we can call on all kinds of different people to help us experience all kinds of different things. And that's because right now we're gathering little different tidbits and we're sharing them, because that's what we want to do. We want to pick up something from somebody else and then bring it into our own life. So we need to maybe toss about in conversations, throw some topics out there, using that humor that we talked about to bridge between people, to how to get to know them, and to draw out what's funny in that moment, even though it might be, challenging or difficult. What we're supposed to do is find the humor in the situation. So you look at all of that, and also, I think I did say it, but I wanted to revisit it. Saturn, which is the planet, I think I warned people on previous podcasts, Saturn, the planet of our lessons. We have two zodiac signs that are teachers. The one teacher is Jupiter, and Jupiter is that nice teacher that takes us all on field trips and lets us have so much fun, and we learn by touching and exploring and just enjoying ourselves. Saturn is the teacher that whacks us like in Oliver Twist. You get the rap across the knuckles if you do it wrong. Even if you do it right, you're still going to get oatmeal for supper. So it's not a pleasant way to learn. Profound, challenging, but it's not a pleasant way to learn. So that's something that we have to be aware of. Saturn is retrograde, and it's going to be all of our very, very difficult lessons coming back to haunt us. So in the Greek mythology play, the Odysseus went down to Pluto and Hades to confront Pluto and bring back the information that he needed to continue on his journey. Well, none of his crew made it. He was the only one that made it out alive. So it was great transformation possibilities at great cost. And that's what Saturn offers us. Great learning opportunities at great cost when it goes retrograde like this. And it's going to be retrograde for a while. I'm afraid we're stuck with that for a little bit. So it went retrograde absolutely around the 4th to the 5th of this month of June. And it's supposed to stay, and it's in Aquarius, and Aquarius is the age of the future. And so it's going to stay with us, lucky us, through July. It will stay with us. Hang on, wait for it, through August, and it's still going to be here through September, and October. We get the rest about the last part of the month. It'll start to go forward again. But those transitional planets, when that happens, that can be very, very difficult. And just a warning, heads up way ahead of time, in July, and we don't even want to think about that right now, but in July, Jupiter will go retrograde at the same time Saturn is. That's towards the end of July. But we will discuss that later. And that'll be in Aries. We will discuss that later. Right now we have Jupiter in our favor, and we have Saturn as our lesson. So we just have to work with that for a bit. So Saturn's going to take us to our fears. Saturn's going to make us confront the things that bother us the most, and it's the most profound, difficult, hard on us teachers. But the lessons that we come back with are very, very important to us, and for our growth, for our spiritual growth, our emotional growth. It's worth the journey. And the number that was given to us for this week is the number 5. And number 5 most often indicates a need for movement, for change, maybe even travel. I don't know that I'd want to travel with all the issues that are happening at all the airports and borders, but number 5 offers us, because it searches for freedom. And number 5 wants us to search for adventure. So maybe this is the week to get those things started, to open ourselves up to new things and new ideas. And that's what number 5 supports with the Gemini energy. We may be a little inclined, when you combine number 5 with that Gemini energy, towards leadership. So that may make us dissatisfied with the leaders that we do have. And if you think you have something to offer, it may be something that we do. We step up to the plate. So there's ambition with number 5, but there's sensitivity. And as I said, it's so important to avoid routine and boredom, especially with number 5, and especially with that Gemini energy. So that's something we have to look at. The weaknesses of number 5 is being careful not to succumb to maybe impulsive, sudden ideas, to create instability in our life, because it's an odd number. There may be an inclination towards nervousness and restlessness, and that's okay if you can channel it. If you're restless and you're just moving around to move around, that's not in your best interest. Nervousness can be a form of energy if we channel it, but it can also drain us. And to keep a balance in emotional, professional, and financial areas. That will be a weakness, and that will be pressure on us with the number 5 combined with the Gemini energy. Now, just very quickly, we were offered a little bit of tarot for this week. Yay, tarot! So one of the things that came up, remembering that this is very general, it's for everybody. So there's nothing specific about it. But if you can own it, go ahead. One of the cards that came up is very emotional. It's the 10 of Hearts, and it's successful. So they're trying to get us to understand that what is emotional success for you? Have you identified it for yourself? What does it mean for you and to you? When do you feel emotionally successful? So, and what is it that you're doing to help yourself feel emotionally successful? So when this comes up, it offers us a sort of harmony in our personal relationships if we choose to jump into it. And so with that, let's just say if you were a parent, it offers the opportunity to be a good parent/child relationship, moving towards that. Contentment, love, that emotional feeling of completion. I feel that, I know it's as a person that lives independently, when the dogs and I have completed a day and we're all still standing, we're all safe and nobody's got harmed, and we all go to bed together, and I look at my little fur family and I know that the ducks are safe and they're in bed for the night, and the turkeys are in bed and the chickens are in bed and the cats are safe and everybody's good. There's a sense of contentment there, just to revel in the security and the peace, even if it's just for that moment. So there's a good feeling of completion, and that's what this is supposed to offer us. So I guess in a roundabout way, I'm saying to you, we are supposed to count our blessings. What do you find emotionally successful for yourself, satisfying? Where do you find peace and contentment? So it's the 10 of Hearts, extremely positive card for matters of love and our emotions, our values, what we would consider as shared happiness, our spiritual growth, and harmony in our relationships. So it carries a promise for us, for affection, for contentment, that feeling of well-being, that happy family relationship. How wonderful. Just coming out of Father's Day on Sunday and maybe including it in this week's growth. And how do we make our fathers or our sons that are fathers or our nephews that are fathers feel that they've done a good thing, that they're doing a good job, and recognize them for that. So we have opportunities sometimes to make and or gather at a friend, a family, a happy gathering if we want to make that. Take a pleasant opportunity and turn it into maybe a social gathering. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing in this next little bit, is just truly, truly enjoying the conversation of others, enjoying the things that other people have to offer us, getting out there, that beautiful weather, just trying to live again. I think that's what this is all about, just trying to live again, get our lives back up in order where we're enjoying it. So, folks, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'm always so grateful for your time and your ear. If you've missed this podcast or any others, Charlie O'Brien, a fellow that can help you with your websites or any of your technical needs, has put us on Spotify and Apple iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Amazon Music Podcasts, and YouTube. It's also on my website, www.terriworld.com, where Charlie has archived 4 or 5 of the last podcasts in case you missed them. Oh no! So you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you normally listen to your podcast. We're just about everywhere, thanks to Charlie. And if you would like a reading for yourself where I can focus on you, feel free to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at Terri, Terri.Coutts, Coutts @gmail.com. Thank you much for joining us. And if you have a dog that you'd like to train, be aware that through the summer we have dog training classes all through the summer, so you can come out to the farm and have a real good time with the animals. All right, you have yourself a great week. Thanks again for your time. We'll talk to you next week. Be safe. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Insights with Terri Coutts, and visit her website, terriworld.com, Terri world.com. And we'll catch you next time